to let it drop. Represent, gotta do it hella big, had to run it back again, light it up. Represent, had to do it hella big, had to run it back again, light it up. Let it drop. Let it drop. Let it drop. Represent, gotta do it hella big, had to run it back again, light it up. Represent, had to do it hella big, had to run it back again, light it up.
Massive Action Podcast. Get it. Let's get it. Get it. Huh?
Top one.
Oh. Get started. I'm gonna get a drink.
Represent, gotta do it hella big, had to run it back again, light it up. Represent, had to do it hella big, had to run it back again, light it up.
What was that? No, I'm good.
Let it drop.
Save it for after.
Let it drop. Let it drop. Represent, gotta do it hella big, had to run it back again, light it up. Represent, had to do it hella big, had to run it back again,
Massive Action Podcast.
light it up.
Get it. Let's get it. Every Tuesday.
Live on Facebook.
We're on Facebook?
I mean,
Oh, you live on YouTube? I was like, damn, we're on Facebook.
Let it drop.
Get this link real quick.
Let it drop. Let it drop.
Episode
7.
7. Nice.
You ever thought when you're starting off as a technician or a porter that you're going to end up having a podcast?
Hell no, dude. I don't even think podcasts existed back then.
No.
Let me see. I mean,
I think Joe Rogan was actually one of the first
you think? When did he start?
a long time ago.
Damn.
Um,
Damn, Joe.
Back then, podcasts were just real niche.
Yeah. I wonder who really did podcasts back then. That's pretty interesting to know. What you got going on this week, man? How you been?
Good. 4th of July is coming up.
It's good.
You've been sticking to your diet?
Man, we've been on this grind. We've been on the diet grind. Yeah, we've been staying on that, man. It's been going good. I can share it, man. Honestly, it took me about a you know how long I've been on this journey? Yes.
5 years.
It's been about
Really?
It's been about 5 years, dude. Damn.
Because you always recommend for these young technicians to take care of their bodies.
Yeah, dude. Let me see, man. You know what? Yeah, you know what? How long did it go, man? Let me see. I'm saying I don't know if I have any notes here.
Oh, Daniel's in the chat right now.
What's up, Daniel? Is that was Daniel's question, right? Or no?
No, it was.
Oh, okay. Man, you know what? So Daniel, he asked me about the fitness journey because what we do is we hit the gym every day about lunchtime, and we get a workout in, and
Make it a priority.
make it a
Focus on
priority.
yourself.
But this check this shit out, dude. Like I didn't this you know how this is how it started, dude. This is how it started. Okay, look, let me tell you. So um I was I was about I was 40, I was 39, 40, right? And and I bought a men's health book. It said men's health 40 and up, right? It was a men's health magazine and it said 40 and up, right? And I was like, that's pretty interesting, right? Because I didn't really think I didn't think it mattered, right? And so I started reading this magazine, and it started talking about that when you when you start to turn 40, like 39, 40, like that age, right? You start to lose muscle mass at a faster rate, okay? And that's what, if you see a lot of older dudes, uh, they're kind of like flabby, like they don't
Yeah.
have muscle, right? It's because they start to lose muscle mass at a higher rate, okay? And I was like, dang, I didn't know that, right? So uh, it said, okay, well, then it says you'll have a drop in testosterone, right? And testosterone is like one of the masculine male hormones that helps, muscle growth. It helps, energy levels. It helps it drive your sex drive. Like the testosterone is a big part of it, right? And then it talked about estrogen, right? So your body produces testosterone and estrogen, right? And when you don't have a good diet, it produces more estrogen than testosterone. And so testosterone is what like chicks need.
Estrogen.
Yeah.
No, you got them.
No, so no. So your body produces testosterone and estrogen.
Hmm.
It produces both. But when you don't have a good diet, you start to produce more estrogen,
Hmm.
right? I was backwards on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, you said that chicks need testosterone.
Oh, well, probably need a dude with testosterone, but but so I was like, I started reading more and more into this, and I was like, dang. So I started to like try to uh, say, man, you know what? I need to make sure I preserve muscle mass, right? And so it said like, you know, it's funny because I'm talking about this, right? And it talks about not going so hard in the gym, but just kind of go to where you're not sore.
Hmm.
That way you can go every day because uh, if you go hard one day, then you might be dead for a bunch of days instead of trying to be consistent with it, right? And that helps retain muscle mass, right? But I was laughing about it because remember last Monday, I went to the gym and I was working out with this dude. We
Oh
went
yeah.
fucking crazy. Right, next day I was like, dude, I was like, never. I haven't. My arms were sore, my chest. I was like, dude, my shoulder. But it felt good though. It felt good because I hadn't got a workout like that in a while. But so that's what kind of made me kind of curious, man. Man, like, because see, like processed foods, they damage your thyroid, and your thyroid is like what um, controls your metabolism. Uh, it controls like your production of testosterone. Like it controls everything, right? And so if you're not eating properly, then your thyroid gets thrown off, and then it starts to make other issues with your body kind of start to break down, right? And so it got me kind of like wanting to figure this thing out, 'cause I was curious about it, right? And so one of the first things I had to do was go get blood work done. Got blood work, and with the blood work, it actually gives you accurate information of what your body's doing, right? And so I had to go to a doctor in Houston. I went to a doctor. They did blood work. They did bone density, right? Bone density is another thing too, because if you're not monitoring, if you're not taking care of your bone, then it starts to become brittle.
Especially when you become older.
Yeah. So when you get older,
A lot of
so
elderly people just break them.
yeah, they fall. Well, the reason why they break them is because they're brittle.
Yeah, so it's easier to break.
Yeah, and so a lot of times what happens, they lose their reflexes. So like if someone falls, they can't catch themselves fast enough, so they fall. So that's why they say like if you're older, like an older person, to kind of like get on your knees and like practice falling to catch yourself, and that kind of helps keep your reflex and your strength. But that's kind of what got the journey going. But what was interesting is like once we got the blood work done, and we realized, hey, your thyroid is not functioning correctly. We need to put you on medication for that. And I was like, okay, cool, right? But then it was like, okay, well, there's other things that are not functioning as well. So we're gonna have to kind of like, your vitamins are all low. Everything's just out of place, right? And so, but what it came back to was not eating properly, dude. And so the thing is like, the doctor will tell you what you're deficient in, but it's up to you to figure out like what you're gonna be eating, and so then I started working with the nutritionist, and the first nutritionist that I had wasn't really like on it, right? They're like, oh, well, just kind of eat more greens and stay away from fried food. That shit, that shit. Stay away from Whataburger, like the basic stuff, right? That you don't want to hear. And so then I hired a fitness trainer that was also a nutritionist, and that's where he's like, well, let me show you how the body works. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, well, how does it work? He's like, well, how many? He's like, how many meals are you eating a day? And I was like, man, I eat maybe breakfast, like just something real quick for lunch, and then maybe like a dinner. You know what I mean? So he's like, maybe two to three meals a day. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, let me ask you a question. How many meals does like a old 70-year-old person eat? How many do you think they eat?
A lot of small ones.
Yeah, like maybe like 2 meals. Maybe they'll eat a breakfast and then they'll eat something for dinner. So they're not eating a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're not eating a lot, your body thinks that you're a lot older than what you are. So think about a baby. A baby eats what every 2 hours.
Yes.
Right. So the body's like, okay, we're in growth mode because we're eating every 2 hours. So that means that like we got to we're in a growth mode.
Mm-hmm.
If you're eating in the morning and at night, your body's like, okay, we're not in a growth mode. We're kind of in a shutdown mode. We're like in the reserve mode. And so your body starts to shut down certain organs. So that's why like guys that are not eating right and their testosterone's messed up because their body's not producing testosterone because their body thinks that they're a fucking 80-year-old man. They're like, why do we need testosterone? You're not trying to fucking bang nobody. Mm-hmm. You're an old dude. You only eat 1 meal a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your body's confused. And so he's like, dude, you got to be eating 6 meals a day. He's like, you eat 6 meals a day. I'm eating 5 meals a day right now. He's like, but it's also based on my macros. So like I can eat 6, but I have to stretch it out.
Yeah.
So I'm eating 5, but he's like, eat every 3 hours. That way your body knows it's gonna eat and it knows it has to work. And because it knows it has to work, that means that everything's moving. Like everything's gonna be functioning. Your digestive system, your testosterone, your brain power, like your muscles, your it actually makes you younger. Because your body is more active. You can actually do it's where they check like how much fat you have around your organs, what's your calorie like what you burn calories wise, and it actually there's a comparison to an age.
Oh wow.
So like it'll say, okay, you're burning this many calories a day. That means that you're active at this age. Like so, mine was, I think I got mine down to like 37. So like my metabolism was functioning as a 37-year-old, right? Which I mean, so that's like an advantage. Like that's one of that's a hack, a business hack, or like a work hack or whatever, like a life hack, to be in the game longer. Because look, if your competitor or someone that you're trying to take out is not eating correctly, like they're already on a decline. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're on a decline, so that means that they're gonna have mental fog. They're not gonna be 100% all day. Like they're gonna be like they're only maybe good till lunchtime. So like just seeing that whole different thing kind of was pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? And then, uh, it's funny because when I first was like, man, like how do I get my testosterone up, right? And they're like, well, eggs helps and beef helps, right?
Yeah.
Dude, we would eat. It's funny if you ask Elaine, like we would eat ground meat every night, like the grass fed ground meat, like organic, whatever. But it was like ground meat and chips and cheese. Like it's good. There was hot sauce. It was good, but like it kind of got too much for a while. And then uh, I was using like MTC oil.
I think you still use it, correct?
Yeah, but back then I didn't know what it was really for. Because I saw it. It said brain, like it said brain power, MTC, like energy or whatever. Right? I didn't know what it was for. Well, MTC oil. So it burns the fastest. So it's kind of like let's say if you eat animal fat, right? Okay, let's say bacon fat, right? That's like unleaded. Okay, MTC oil is like supreme. It's supreme. So like when your body gets that, like it's like, okay, this is good, pure fat. Like, and we're gonna use that and we're gonna convert that to energy. And so that's really for when you're on a keto. The keto is just your high fats.
Yeah.
And so your body's reliant on good fats to start to produce energy, right? So that's how that whole thing started. But it's been like about 5 years, dude. And I mean, I was thinking about that today. Like, man, like this thing's been taking like a long time, and it's just over the last maybe 6-7 months, maybe a year that I finally started to like kind of play around with it, and even working with that nutritionist, like for some reason, like I couldn't dial in on it, dude. Like, he was like, hey, you gotta eat this, you gotta eat this, you gotta eat this, and I was like, okay, cool, got it. And then I'll go back to weigh, and he's like, man, you're like you're not following it correctly. And I'm like, dude, like I'm not fucking eating really. Yeah. And so it was kind of frustrating because you have to eat more to lose weight, but then you're like, well, I don't want to eat more because I want to lose weight, but you have to be eating, and it's just kind of it's about being just how bad you want it, you know what I mean? Like even with the drinks, you know what I mean? Like I told you, I was like, man, I need to cut down on these drinks, and even the Gatorade, I was like, dude, this thing has 22 carbs on it. If I drink that, it's gonna throw me off.
All sugar.
Yeah, I was like, so those things will fuck you up. Like just having a Gatorade, you might think it's easy, but like imagine how much. Hey, that's crazy, dude. Because those carbs will mess you up. Like they'll mess you up. But hey, let's get into the podcast. So the Massive Action podcast is information for technicians, shop owners that are looking. They're having some issues, man. They're trying to figure this shit out. Technicians want to open a business. Business owners want to go back to being technicians because they're like, man, this is too much work. I didn't think it was gonna be like this. Like, what do I do? But I've been through all those phases, and I'm happy to share some of the things that I've been through, and hopefully it'll help you on your journey and get you to your destination a lot faster, man. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please maybe share the video with another technician. Give us a like. Drop some 100s in the comments, and I appreciate that. Let's get it, man.
Right. So we had a comment on YouTube. They're asking what systems and software do we use in the office to help with invoicing or scheduling.
Okay. So yep. So the system. What are the systems softwares you recommend for the body shop, such as invoicing, scheduling? What is it? What is PD? By the way, what?
By the way, props to you guys.
Oh, okay, got it. So look, appreciate it, man. So to answer the question, the software. So the software that we're using right now is we're using Mitchell. Okay, there's Mitchell estimating system, and then there's Mitchell Connect. Oh no, it's Mitchell Connect and then Mitchell Repair Center. So Mitchell Connect is where we do all the estimates, kind of all the documentation. The way Mitchell Connects makes us money is because whenever we do an estimate, okay, it allows us to lock it, and then it allows us to do a supplement on it. So whenever we print it out, we can actually see where the supplement's at. So it's very similar to like when you get an insurance estimate and you get a supplement. You wanna have that for your own documents. You wanna be able to have your own supplement to provide to them. You know what I mean? Even though they don't read it, you still want to have that for your record. So when they come out, you can actually go over the supplement with them and make sure that it's like your reminder. So it's just a reminder. Like for example, like the supplement you did today, right? Let's just say if the insurance were to come out, you can just pull that out. You don't have to give it to them. You can use it for your notes.
Yes.
Okay. And you want to make sure, because look, if you're it's called mirroring an estimate, where you copy it into the system and then you lock it, then you write your supplement. So let's just say the insurance comes out and they have and he's like, hey, I'm here to do the supplement on the RAM, right? You're gonna say, okay, let's go over it, right? Okay. So you're gonna say, okay, what do you need? Don't give him the sheet, like go item per line, because what's gonna happen, he's gonna look at it and he's like, okay, I got it. Let me work it up and I'll get back to you. So then he's gonna go in his car and he's gonna remove a bunch of stuff. He's gonna change stuff around. Then he's gonna take off. He's gonna email it to you. You know what I mean? And you're like, dude, I just didn't even ask me what's up. So you want to make sure you go item per line. Okay, on this fender, we're gonna need 5.3 hours, right? Okay, why do you need what's that? Because it's aluminum. The repair's gonna take a little longer, or whatever, right? Okay, got it. Boom. We're gonna have to do whatever the thing is. You want to make sure you have those item lines. Okay, we're gonna need an alignment on there. Okay, how much is the alignment? The alignment is $99.95, right? Okay, but we need a transport fee. What's that for? We gotta take the vehicle over there. Like someone has to take it over there, and we have to pick them up. So that's transport. Okay, got it. So you want to kind of go through all those item lines with that. So to answer your question, we use the Mitchell Connect, and then we use the Mitchell Repair Center. And so the Mitchell Repair Center, what that does, it allows us to so once the estimate's done, then we transfer it into the repair center. And so what it does, it transfers everything on there. So now, let's just say it has 20 hours labor time. Okay, now I can assign that labor to a technician. So you can actually put your technician's name in there, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna assign this work, the body work, to this technician. I'm gonna assign the paint work to this technician. And so then you give them the work order on what they need to be done on it, right? Mm-hmm. But then also it allows you to manage the parts. So what you do is, like, let's say on the estimate they're allowing you money for parts, right? So you go in there, and whenever you buy the parts, you put how much they gave you and how much you bought it for. There should be a 30% markup on that. So you should be making 30% profit on parts. So what that does, it actually gives you a visual of where the profit margins are at. So if it's like 10%, you're like, dang, like this is only 10%. Like what's up with that? You know? So what you can do is you can maybe call for a price adjustment. So you can go back and get additional monies if you need to, because you should be making 30% markup on parts. So we use the Mitchell Connect, and the Mitchell Repair Center, right? For invoicing, we're using QuickBooks, and the QuickBooks system is probably going to be the best thing to set up. And what I tell a lot of shop owners is, like, they're like, man, I don't want to get a QuickBooks right now because I'm not really that big. Like, get the QuickBooks now. That way you don't have to go back and have to do it. Because I had a buddy that had his shop running. He was going good. And he's like, man, like we have a lot of work now, but it's hard to manage all the invoices because everything is we have to write everything out. Yeah. And so I was like, well, do you have to get QuickBooks? He's like, man, I don't want to spend the money. I was like, what? Like, it's going to make you money because you're able to manage your stuff. And so it took him a while, but he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. Well, he did it, and it made his business a lot easier because now everything is manageable in that QuickBooks, right? And so the difference is that with the QuickBooks is you can get the desktop version, or you can get the cloud base. And so the cloud base is going to be better, the online, because you can access that from wherever. And so if you're just starting off, and you're like, man, I need some help. I need some help organizing my QuickBooks or my books or whatever. You can actually get a bookkeeper that's like virtual bookkeeping, and they can log in and help you go over it. So you don't. It saves you money because, like, let's just say, for example, you have a smaller business, right? And you're like, man, I need to get the QuickBooks set up. I wonder how much a bookkeeper will charge me to come set it up. They're gonna charge you probably like $175 an hour, 175 an hour, or maybe you're probably gonna have to get a CPA. They might charge you about 150 an hour. A CPA, certified public accountant. So a CPA and a bookkeeper are different. So the CPA is like the one that kind of like does all with the taxes, and they kind of they figure out like strategies, right? Tax strategies and like this, the whole thing. A bookkeeper just kind of enters everything in.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a register, like she's just registering everything, making sure all the parts are paid for, and then the CPA is the one that kind of that has access to the IRS. So whenever a CPA does your taxes, they're signing off to it to the IRS. So look, the way the IRS works, a lot of people don't know this, dude, but like whenever like people go get their taxes done, so a lot of people claim to be tax people, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. But let's just say I'm like, hey, Aaron, I can do your taxes, right? Okay. So what they'll do is they'll create the account in your name, but they're doing the taxes for you. So the IRS thinks that you did them yourself, yes. Right? Versus a CPA, their name is on the line.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, for example, like we have a CPA for us, and when she files our taxes,
shows that
she's the one that put them together. So if it comes back, I'm gonna be like, hey, like you asked Sonia, I don't know, like you have to ask her what's going on with that, But you still have to kind of be on top of it. It's quite a bit of. I mean, once you start to get things going, at first it might be a lot of work, but once you kind of dive into it, it's like it's routine. It's like it's the same thing every year, so it becomes like recurring. You know what I mean? You're entering all your invoices in. You're seeing what your sales tax are. You're paying at the end of the year, so it all becomes repetitive. So it's all part of the system. He asked also too, what do we use for appointments? So right now, what we're using for appointments is the Google Calendar. So use Google Calendar. That's probably going to be the easiest thing.
Add it as a task, because when you add tasks to a Google Calendar, you could add a description.
Okay.
So you could put like what vehicle, like what the customer's name is, so that other people in the office could go and look at it.
Yeah, and it helps because if I put someone in there and someone shows up at 10:30, at 10:30 we usually have appointments at 10:30. Mm-hmm. You can go there and be like, oh yeah, John, I see your information here. So you're better prepared. You know what I mean? So we're using Google Calendar for that. We also use Podium. Podium is a texting platform that's it's very helpful. Like yes. Podium, dude. Like Podium is very helpful. Basically, what it is, it's an app that. So what you do is like, whatever your business number is, you put it in there, right? So when people call your business line, it goes to the Podium platform, right? After the third or fourth ring, if no one picks up in the office, then it automatically it puts a message out there, says, hey, sorry we missed your call, but if you press any key, you'll receive a text from our office. If they press any key, they're gonna receive a text, right? And when they receive that text, everybody in the office can see it. Everybody also too that has it on their phone. You have it on your phone too?
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody that has it on their phone, they can see it. They can also see the conversation so that there's not a lot of miscommunication.
You can go back and look.
Yeah, you can go back and look and see kind of what's going on. So that's very helpful. So one thing that about automation, right, is so let me see how I can explain this. Like okay, so for example, automation allows you to scale. It allows you to do more things, right?
Because it frees you up.
It frees up but it also like, let's just say for example, we had to hire like this secretary just to answer phones and take right. So we would have to like probably train her, but we can use the podium and like it kind of helps. It helps everybody communicate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it kind of saves and it also helps make things more efficient. You know, and it kind of makes things now it's more of a system thing. So it's like, okay, we have the Mitchell Connect, Mitchell Repair Center, QuickBooks, Google Calendar, then we have Podium. So those are the softwares that we use for our system. You know what I mean? So it's pretty simple. Also too with the Mitchell Connect, you can take photos. It has an app. No, you can log into cloud based.
Yes, you log in and then you just take your photos and upload it on your phone.
Yeah.
And then you can log into the computer and you'll see it there.
Yeah. So you upload them. It's real simple. It's been a long day, man. It's been hot over here. It's been like 100 and something.
Heat's putting us to sleep.
But every Tuesday, man, we're here. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and we will answer your question. Do we have any more questions, or are you going to kind of wrap it up?
I think we'll wrap it up. That was a good question for today.
Yeah, for sure. So, great, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe, and please share the video with someone that's in the body shop industry or someone that's starting to open a business that needs some help. This video will be very beneficial to them. And till next Tuesday, guys, massive action. Remember, man, go out there and make something happen, man. Your family is depending on you, brother.
Represent, gotta do hella big, had to run it back again, light it up. Represent, had to do